harvesters behind. He's down a base, and Ret's macro is just, he's going to be maxed in the next 2 minutes.
Nani's actually going to warp in a bunch of zealots over here, but look at the amount of roaches that we have. Actually, where are all the roaches? Oh, the roaches are over here. So at least he said as well we'll be able to do a little bit of damage, perhaps even kill the Spore Crawler. But we do have a Hydra list then on the way, 6 Hydras at once. I do love this a lot by Naniwa though.
Well, there's a lot of Void Rays here, and that's actually a little bit scary because Ret doesn't have very many Queens out. Certainly not enough to kill the Void Rays. Now they're completely charged. Ret will take out the pylon, so Nani won't be able to warp in anymore, but there's going to be a seriously scary time in the game here where Nani's going to be able to do a lot of damage to these Void Rays. Ret is going to just load up and counter. Yeah. He needs to kill that probe and pylon, though, and I don't think he's taking it into account. Hydras are on the way out, but he's going to need some serious Hydra numbers before he really engages this.
Yeah, the 2 Phoenix helping out the loads as well. There we have 2 Queens assisting, but more and more Hydras streaming in. Wow, look at the amount of drones being produced right now. That's ridiculous.
What? Ret? What? 21 more drones?
He's already at 82.
It's crazy because Nani killed like 10 drones, killed a Queen, did a lot of like just annoying harass, and then Ret's like, no problem, I'm back. And meanwhile, Ret's counterattacking at the front, and Naniwa just doesn't have much stuff there.
Well, more than enough against a bunch of roaches. Actually, he's going to perhaps lose this Cybernetic Core temporarily, which is going to suck, of course, for Naniwa, which means he can only produce Zealots and air units from now on. A couple of force fields, perhaps. Yes, we do have a couple of force fields. Nice force field, I must say. He definitely got the best out of the situation that he could have possibly got. But he's going to need a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah, he's going to need another base, and he's going to really need to scare Ret into staying home for a little while because Ret's macro, as we've been saying, just constantly all game long, his macro is just so big right now. He's got more production than he can even afford. If you look at his at all of his hatcheries, he's got unspent larvae everywhere, and he's got no money. So I mean, he's actually overdone the macro just a little bit. And which is okay because eventually he's going to max and he's going to save up all this money, and then he's going to have 5 hatcheries with tons of larvae on each of them, and it's going to be, it's going to be fine for him. But frankly, I'm just concerned, man. I don't know what Nani can really do here.
Me neither. We have a bunch of Phoenix. Let's see if he's going to be able to lift up anything. And Ret finally spots this pilot. And Ret should be careful with the Void Rays, though. They melt against Hydras. And Nani should know that. Here we do see that 4th, well, I won't say 4th hatchery. Actually, it's like the 6th hatchery. But the 4th real base. And that's just ridiculous at the 13-minute mark. And we have 6 hatcheries on the field. The robotics base is up. Nani slowly but steady is going to be able to secure this 3rd base, though. So hopefully that's going to help out a little bit.
Yeah, but Ret closing in on that max. 186 supply now. Naniwa picking up another Queen and getting a kill there, and he's doing a good job of just applying pressure and keeping Ret in his base. But I think we're quickly approaching a point in the game where Ret's going to be like, okay, let's go attack now because I'm maxed and there's nothing else that I can really do here.
Energy upgrade is going down for the Infestors as well. First Infestors on the way. It's probably going to be a hell of a lot more soon. Look at this lonely drone. I mean, that drone is going to get spotted, right? Oh, no. He's hiding.
Oh, no. It's a sad day to be that guy. Sucks for him.
I found you, man. He should have morphed. He couldn't. I would say
Burrow would have been cool, but...
Ooh, the Hydra is actually coming in from the back, doing a lot of damage on this one Void Ray with 14 kills. So that has been a successful Void Ray so far. Taking another look at Naniwa's...
Man, I cannot believe how fast Ret has maxed out. It's 14 minutes into the game, and there's been fighting steadily for the past several minutes. And Ret is sitting at 200 of 200 supply. He's got Infestors, Roaches, and Hydras.
Nice micro right there by Nani, saving this Void Ray on 3 HP, but he should still be careful. Spore Crawler is so dangerous. Hydra snipe off one Phoenix in the process, and he's lucky that it stayed with that. Nani at 139 supply. We do see him researching the thermal lens. We do see him researching Blink. But yeah, he's behind. But as long as Protoss is on 3 base, I do know that as well. As long as Protoss gets closer to, like, let's say 170, 180 supply.
I think that's kind of the magic number, about 170, especially against Roach Hydra. Ret should probably try to make something happen pretty quickly here.
Because this is not the ideal army, what you want to have against a guy where you know he's going to have a lot of sentries, because Ret already saw this. He's going to have Colossi eventually.
Very, very nice.
Risky though, very risky.
Yeah, so he picks up the Infestors, gets a lot of free kills there, and he actually doesn't lose anything. Only a single Hydra there. All the Hydras are out of a position, and Naniwa's doing such a good job of just buying time. He's buying so much time. Look at this. He's got his Colossus out. He's got a lot of force fields. He's got an Immortal as well. So this Roach-based army is not going to be very well equipped to deal with this. So I mean, Ret, he played so well early, but he's waited for so long. I'm starting to worry. He's got his Hive on the way, and the Spire's building as well. So he will be able to transition into Broodlords very soon, But Naniwa is about to hit that critical mass where, you know, it's just like, what now?
That was such a key move by Naniwa. I can't believe that. I've really seen actually a bunch of Phoenix sniping Infestors on such an important moment. It's absolutely brilliant play by Naniwa. But he's doing it again, even though one fungal does go off. The Phoenix do manage to clear up once again two Infestors. And even though Red is swimming in money, it's starting to get annoying. You know, you don't want to lose your Infestors all the time. Meanwhile, we see a lot of Zergling. Straight Mike Red.
Yeah, Red's swimming in money. Oh, there's that run by, but there's just too much stuff there. A lot of minerals for Ret, but he's low on gas, and if you notice, he's not mining gas at the 4th base, which is a bit of a blunder. He is saturating his geysers at the other places, but right now gas is what he needs. He really needs to be dealing with that. He's got to be amassing that excess gas so that he can make that switch into Broodlord.
Taking a look at his hatcheries, he has 7, 9, 6, 10, 3, and 7 larvae saved up. So that's more than enough larvae saved up.
This is scary.
It's just going to get more and more. But nevertheless, this army from Naniwa is beastie. 195 supply. Where did he get it from? And Red's army is really not that strong. I mean, even though the drone count is not that ridiculously high anymore, and Red making a lot of spine crawlers right now, which I think is an excellent decision.
But it's not going to be fast enough. And here we go. We're going to have a bit of a fight here on the edge of Red's creep. He's got a lot of roaches and infestors. Some really good fungal can equalize this, but good force fields from Naniwa, but man, his army is just so good.
I can't believe it as well. A couple of
that
once again.
Sucks for Red.
Decent fungos though. The fungos did do some damage. Red is still maxed out. 14 corruptors on the way, but is it going to be enough? Are they going to be in time? Look at Red. He's retreating on. He's still maxed out, but when you see this Protoss army knocking on your front door, you really wonder what your maxed out Zerg army can do.
The Corruptors have to get into this fight for Red to have a chance. He's got 14 on the way, and quite frankly, that's a few more than he's going to need, but he's got to kill these Colossi fast before they can devastate his numbers. Here we go. The fight's going to happen in Red's natural. A couple good force fields, but oh no, great force fields, so all of Red's army zoned out. The Colossi are almost certainly going to fall. The Void Rays are completely charged. Oh no, Red's Corruptors were focusing. Phoenix and Colossi are still doing huge amounts of damage. And the Red's army just melting under the Protoss Death Ball. There's the blink. Everything Red has been decimated, Rotterdam.
These Stalkers are doing such a fabulous job. It's insane. More and more Corruptors getting melted. 32 roaches on the way, but they're just going to die one by one. You can see this running in. They're running in straight into their own death. This is insane. I can't believe how Naniwa turned this game around. If he is in the best Protoss in Europe, I really wonder what you're going to have to do to be the best Protoss in Europe.
That's all I can say. What was a seemingly unwinnable position, Naniwa just persisting, buying himself time and stalling, and then finally, when he reaches that critical mass, pushing out Ret, just not able to answer. GG, Naniwa takes game number 2.
That's just ridiculously impressive by Naniwa. I can't believe that. We see Ret on your screen right there. See him shaking his head. He knows this was his game. This was going flawless.
This was his game to lose, and that's
so
what happened there,
incredible. Well, look at the resource score. I mean, you guys can see it, but we can see it. Red has 37,000. Naniwa only 28,000. That's a really big difference. You're not supposed to lose those games.
No, you're right. You know, Red maxed out at 14 minutes, and then they didn't fight until 20. You know, and it really all comes down to Naniwa just being very, very aggressive with his Stargate units. He was keeping Ret in his base. Had Ret ever pushed and forced to fight, I feel like Naniwa would have been very, very hard-pressed to hold there. But instead, Ret he kept sitting back, just making sure that his infrastructure stayed untouched. And unfortunately for him, when Protoss finally moved out, he was just too big. And I think there's a really key point in there. You can't let Protoss reach that critical mass unchecked. Ret did nothing to keep the army in check.
No, I mean, Ret had this really scary Zerg army for quite a while, but then he let Naniwa come from, like, Naniwa was at like 112 supply when Ret was maxed out, and then it took a while, then he finally went for it. But yeah, the movement speed between roaches, hydras, and infestors, that's just very weird. So I can understand that you can find yourself in a position where a couple of units get sniped off. I must say, what a move by Naniwa to lift up those infestors. That really saved the game.
Changed everything. That was Ret's timing. Naniwa was at about 150 supply. He's not completely set. He's trying to get his 3rd base. If Ret hits right there, Naniwa takes tons and tons of damage and maybe is knocked out of this game and down into the lower bracket. But instead, Naniwa sweeps in there with the Phoenixes, lifts all 3 infestors, doesn't lose a single unit. And Ret's complete attack is just nullified as the Infestor was basically the backbone of that army.
Both of these guys are so good, it's really ridiculous. I really feel that this is almost like on another level of the other games we've seen, even though of course Thorzain is super impressive, but I really feel like that perhaps then with Thorzain that these 3 are really the 3 guys who are probably going to end up top 3 in this tournament, because how good both of them playing is really insane.
You're absolutely correct. So now our last map is going to be Shattered Temple, right?
Yes, that's correct.